Yeah. What?
Presented by Racing Haven and live from Darlington Motor Speedway. It's time to ready up and get set to go racing. Welcome everyone to Ready Up, the show where we talk about things prior to the race that's currently taking place here at VRA. I'm Starry. This is Antelot to my right. This is Toddy to my also right. It is a pleasure to have you here today, provided you woke up for today's race. It is my pleasure to provide the best coverage. Ignore the fact that I look different. That's none of your business.
Right.
Uh, yeah, we can say that again.
Mhm. All
But
right.
yeah, no,
So,
honestly,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, but honestly, no, this is, I would say this is now the fifth race of the season right now in VRA. Having fifth race, we're almost halfway through the season already. And after right now, this season is just getting spicy and really exciting, I would say. From my commentators and driver's POV, I would say. We've got
Definitely,
Yeah.
I definitely say there's some pretty heated rivalries going on. It's pretty early into the season, but I've seen it before since I've been here before. But we've already seen some rivalries taking place between teams, between drivers, some of which are a battle of mid. I'm going to be honest with you, but overall, some teams are striving to redeem themselves after last season. Some teams ended up on top consistently, placing high up in the standings, while some teams, I'm going to be honest with you, straight up flopped. But I say, main point I want to get across here, Pancake. What is going on with him?
well,
I don't know. What did he? I assume I'm going to make the assumption that he takes something before races because I don't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect from Pancake at the very beginning of the season. Granted, I haven't been here within the past 3 weeks, but that's none of your business. But overall, he has been on a tear, and I'm not even exaggerating that. But I'm not even exaggerating. That's just the truth. He's been doing great this season. I don't know what it is, but he looks more poised than ever to make a championship run. Obviously, I can't say that because it's the early beginning of the season, but I'm just gonna say he has championship potential. I might be saying that not knowing he has championship.
Hmm.
no, but honestly, no. With Pancake, so with Pancake, he's an interesting driver to watch. As a driver myself, Pancake has what I call road course dominance, but oval struggles. In the past, throughout the season, I've been watching Pancake how he drives and his style. He loves his road courses. Every road course that we are in, he will dominate. However, when it comes to the ovals, he did say himself he does struggle. However, for a driver's perspective, that's okay. We have some drivers that are in real life struggle with their ovals and their road course, but they're good in road courses. But also with Pancake, even though he's one for titles, those road courses are what are keeping him in a fight. With every road course, he just dominates. But in ovals, you see him struggling. However, with his team that he's in, he'll be able to learn and develop from drivers. But also, one big move has happened is Ginty. Ginty was a cup driver 4 races ago. Now he's been moved back to D2. We don't know exactly why, but all we know is that Smith needs moved him down, I think, for developing reasons.
Hmm.
Ginty was moved up to D1 too quickly. He's been struggling. He hasn't been performing really well. And there's been multiple drivers in D1 in that field that's been struggling from last season. But this is D2 here. So Ginty will now need to learn everything. He need to show again to Smith that, hey, he still has it. Or Will Smith just be like, sorry, bud, you don't have the capability. And Smith is a big team, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
This is Smith's third season in VRA. In the first season, they had a big push with Dino, and now they're having another big push in Cup, where they actually look threatening. So for Jin to be moved down to D2, that means that Smiths wants the best of the best, and GNT sadly doesn't have it. However, with rivalries, with rivalries, I would say one of the greatest rivalries at the moment is GNT is Bandit and Wicked. Them two are always battling and always fighting like crazy. Every
Seen
race,
that.
every even practice, I've been watching them today to love to battle, them to love to fight. And you know what? This is giving me some rivalries to, like, for example, Michael Schumacher and um Damon Hill, Nico Rosberg, and Lewis Hamilton. This is the rivalry that is giving me right now. It's amazing rivalry right now, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? If them two are close together in the track, they will 5% battle. But here's the thing though: is this a season rivalry or would it be a lifetime rivalry? As we have seen in VR history with me and Viking, a rivalry that has gone through multiple seasons and multiple leagues. Or this will be a rivalry that will just be one season, and then when the season ends, it will just calm down and simmer down. But you know what? There's so many things. There's so many things we can talk about here. We can talk about the break and turn cars, how some people are liking them, some people are not liking them, or we can talk about Verge, who moved teams and is now struggling in Smith Motorsports with issues that are not related to himself, but different issues. So we can talk about so many things here, guys, that, you know what, let's just take one thing slowly for the viewers to learn and watch what happens.
Okay, Antelo, I don't think you're appeasing the public. I am looking in the VRA Discord server, and they're not calling your take of the Wicked Bandit rivalry very good. I
Right.
will say the Wicked Bandit rivalry is good, but to compare it to that of a Michael Schumacher rivalry, you're getting ahead of yourself. I don't think that rivalry is on the same level. Like, come on. If
Right.
any F1 fans, well, to be fair, I wasn't even live when the rivalry happened, but just that type of comparison, I don't think is a good comparison. I mean,
Right.
sure, I'm sure there are some better comparisons out there, but to compare it to something of that high class, I don't think is a really like popular opinion. Obviously, I could be getting ahead of myself, but I mean, take a look at the public's reaction, not mine.
Right. And I do want to say this, that Wicked himself, he said that there is tension, but there's no competition.
Yeah, I honestly agree with that. Yes, there's tension, but obviously it's, not actually that competitive unless you take a Roblox racing game seriously. Um,
A lot of people do
but
take it seriously.
it's all just tension. I don't think there's anything personal between the two. Obviously, they are fighting for a championship, of course, but I don't think it's that hostile. But I do want to go over something that I did find quite interesting. Have y'all seen the vote on the new point system they
Yep.
adding to VRA?
Yep. And all I can say is this, that I was one of the team owners who did propose in it, because respectfully, it could be a new point system to basically shake up the VRA season. If if not, but that's just my opinion.
Do you think the point system is kind of very interesting? Um, Definitely things that I think that it's going to make every position matter per se. Because now first gets 31 points and then it goes down by 4, 3, and so on every now and then. I think it's going to make things more competitive. Because obviously, like I said, every position matters no matter like where you end up, and some championship battles are obviously going to get way more heated um, the new the new point system. But obviously, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be that interesting when it's like first introduced, but I think that later on we're going to see plenty of legendary championship battles. And I just am very interested to see where it goes.
Hmm. All right, Angelo, how do you feel about the point system?
Oh, honestly, as a driver, I just it depends. Honestly, it's a new point system that we have gone to, like where if you finish higher means for more points. However, that also means that we have less races to think about. So it's more points and fewer races, which it is interesting for the team owner. I mean, his perspective, but as a one driving a car, that means that you have more pressure on yourself actually to get them high positions, which you want. However, if you're having a down season slope, then for you that might mean more pressure for you mentally, knowing that one position could mean a 4 point gap or a 5 point gap from the person who you're fighting against in the championship, which are we seeing in both D1 and D2. There is some rivalries that are happening everywhere, if it's
Mhm.
not in the top or in the bottom. So this new point system now means that multiple drivers are gonna have to turn up. They're gonna have to. The ones who are struggling are gonna need to find something to get up to that peak performance as they were. And one of those drivers who we have sadly seen struggle, not by his own fault, is Verge. He's one of those drivers who sadly has been struggling, not from his own fault, but just because of Roblox just of interfering with
It's
him
wrong
and
time per se.
causing. Hmm.
Hey, it's wrong place, wrong time, or would you say it's rather just overall in general? Like there are individual moments that where you can like mess up, but would you say it's just like Verge being bad overall in general thanks to
No,
Roblox, or
no. It's just Roblox causing him to have like issues like with
Right.
Verge. I've seen in Vegas, great example, a track that he loves, and he said that he knew he could win, and he was right in the top five. At one point, he just had issues with equipment issues with like Rolex like what, and then we had Sonoma where again same issues again. So I'm not sure what's happening with Verge exactly. I've been I've been trying to speak to him about it, but literally out of the four races at the moment, he had like the 3 out of 4 races, he had some issues during the race with
Mhm.
mechanical or equipment issues. So it's just the luck is not with him, and sadly with Verge is a driver who it is in my academy, who I know has great potential. He isn't just getting the luck that he wants, which for him it is good. It will mentally impact him. However, same time there is still a long the season has technically still started. We're still not even halfway through the season yet, so Verge can still find a way to climb up the ladder, and that's what he needs. He just needs to pray to the racing gods, or maybe to someone, or to one of his god, to someone he believes up above, and for him to have a good season. However, I can still see Verge being as a driver who might come out of nowhere in the back if he has his equipment surgery sorted out. But there's also multiple people who we can talk about. We can talk about like Ginty again being moved down from Cup to D2. Like we don't know exactly why he's been moved down. All we know is that he's been moved down from Cup to Fios. So his mentality is gonna be affected as well. Having to go from being fighting with the best of the best to now fighting with the upcoming rookies or the newcomers, or even
Mhm.
some people who could move down due to schedule reasons. So we can talk
Right.
about Jinx as well. There's so many drivers we can talk about. We can even talk about Musashi as well if we need to. About how he had like in Sonoma he had equipment issues as well, where his car just gave up on him and he was fighting for P2. In Vegas, did really well, finished in the top six. So this equipment mechanical issues is happens everywhere. We can again we another driver another Smith of driver we can talk about. It is J Bar. He had again did really well in Vegas. Sonoma didn't. Yes, he was unlucky. So we can talk about so many drivers about equipment issues and this point system that has now gonna affect them by issues like this. However, so from now onwards, equipment mechanical issues is gonna be your downfall. Or if you're a quick driver, so behind some slow drivers, that will affect you as well. So
Hmm.
this is going to be interesting now for points related. So
mm,
every now this means from race to race, you need to be on your A game from the start, from practice to the end of the race. You need to be in your A game. You need to be focused, committed.
Who's going to tell him that he's spoken longer than any of us two have ever spoken combined?
Yeah.
Who's going to tell? Yeah.
You're not going to tell that.
But it's respectful though, because most of the points he did say I do kind of agree with. But one driver I would like to point out that I think is going to have an absolute down year this season is definitely Antoine mentioned him, but Ginty definitely has had a bit of a slump. I was expecting a little bit more out of Ginty, not to put too much pressure on them, but I was expecting, just a little bit more. But overall, this season for them has been absolutely horrendous. Like, I've checked the standings, 7 points in the Cup Series. When are we going to start seeing something competitive? I mean, yeah, I'm honestly not impressed by the way he's been performing. And obviously, I do think he's a good driver. I do think he has the potential, but the results aren't showing. I mean, obviously, I could be proven wrong. I mean, there's a lot of different ways I could be proven wrong, but I am waiting for that day, and I definitely don't think it's going to be today.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though, with Ginty, again, he's a rookie to D1, so he's having to learn the new cars, new everything, but at the same time, most reminiscences, we do not know if Ginty from that season had any part-time experience. But again, you could say, "Whoa, look at Nint! Look where he is. He's fighting with his team, with Dino, his teammate, for the first position in the championship." But this, but all it says that for Ginty, this, I think Smith very now for confidence to regain his confidence again. Because one thing with Ginty is this, one thing for drivers is, if your confidence is bad, you will not perform. A great example of this is myself during season 3 and season 4. I was nowhere to be seen, and I was and in season 1 I won a championship. So if your confidence is bad, it will show in your performance. Like a top 5 for Ginty in D2 could mean a win. That's how, if your performance is bad, that's how much a top 5 could mean. It could mean a win, or it could mean a chance for a victory. And people are not realizing about this. But also says there's been a driver change in D2 with Toxic going from Amica to Spring Motorsports, and he talk about this in D2 last season, in last race on why he did it. But at the same time, it's interesting that Amica has lost a great driver who could have won him a championship at one point. Deciding to join another top rated 4 team, and you know what? I don't blame him for doing that. Like, Toxic, he is 4th in the standing, so he has a chance of winning. However, Pancake is just flying away with it, with having 55 laps led, 3 top 3s, 3 top 5s, and 1 pole position and 2 wins. And look, like, the battle for first is well gone by, but the battle for second is close by. There is 4 drivers with 60 points, like 8 points behind the Bandit, who is another rookie. We have 3 rookies leading in the top 3. The non-rookie is Toxic, and Toxic believes he can have a fight. Also J-Bar, who is talented in super speedways. However, due to having one super speedway race, now that talent is all gone. But there's so many drivers that we need to talk about. Like, one driver who I thought will be doing well is Verge. He's in P18 at the moment, so we can talk about so many drivers and situations.
Stop talking about Verge, I beg of you, please. No, it's not even asking nicely. It's a demand. Right. Sorry, but it's okay. One thing I do want to point out. Obviously, we're all talking about Pancake. I mean, that's literally the headline of Ready Up. But come on,
basically,
Nint. I mean, he is literally just Pancake, but in the Cup Series. This dude, can you believe this guy is a rookie? and he's doing this good in the Cup Series. This dude is a rookie, mind you, and he's like, well, to be fair, the lead is only by 4 points, but I stand by that. He's doing all right. He's
All right.
doing like very well. He's doing very well, I'd say.
All right. There is something else I wanted to point out. Basically from last week for D1. I mean, I know this broadcast isn't for D1 viewer, right? But it's the way that Piles and Nin were basically battling it out in the last few laps until Piles got messed up. I just wanted to bring that up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, honestly, with Nint, I would say from last season when he was a part-time driver, he showed potential, like he genuinely did, and yeah, but honestly, yeah, I just been told now that we should about D2 since tomorrow they'll be talking about D1, but honestly, Nint he's showing great potential. However, we need to look at group like for example, like Colors Racing. They have gone to a 3 car team in D2 as well. Like with one of the with the greatest driver at the moment is being Griffin, who's again another rookie fighting for that P2 in the standings. So we can talk about there's so many drivers we can talk about right now in D2 that is kind of crazy. Like we can talk about Griffin, we can talk about Toxic, Revel as well, how he's actually doing quite well. Was Toddy as well himself winning in Daytona actually.
Yeah,
First win for the rebranded Hot Rod Racing, and now, oh, let's not talk about that team at the moment.
yeah. I take I take all criticism, so basically just basically give y'all your best shot.
I can't. I'm your driver.
Mhm.
Oh, my lawyer has advised me not to say anything, so I'll not.
Yep, you better not because that is a subject at the moment we don't want to talk about.
I don't want to talk about it, so I won't. How about that?
Yeah, but no, honestly, nah. It's interesting now that practice is still. Oh, I think practice is not open yet at the moment. So, but it will be soon due to the clocks not going, no changing in the UK. So for me, the I'm still a bit off pace from schedule since, but practice will be open in 27 minutes. So in 27 minutes, we'll be able to watch how the drivers are going to be driving and all that stuff like that. So yep,
Right.
27
Um,
minutes. But
yep. One thing I did want to talk about before I assume we have nothing else to talk about, so I'm just adding on. I'm just adding on content. Um, I
uh,
think that public approval overall of Ginty is just in the trenches. I mean, I posted about Ginty, about my opinion on him, and most. I'm sorry, Ginty. You're getting
For
like
ba-
shots fired at you. You're getting like 14 different strays fired at you, but
mhm.
everyone agrees with me, and I think that the hate is kind of too much. Obviously, I know he's a good driver. He can do things. He is capable of doing more than what he's currently doing right now, but
We can.
the stats don't prove it. The
Well,
stats don't prove it. I mean, my
well,
expectations were low, but Dolly.
well. Here's the thing though. With Ginty, like he finished in season 5 P12 in the standings. So I believe that honestly he was sent up to cup too early. That's my honest opinion. He had no wins. He had one top 5. He had he won one stage. He did not have a good D season 5 standing, and for him to be moved up to cup, he was gonna fail. He was gonna fail anyway. Like it's sad to hear, but about Ginty, but I genuinely believe that he got moved up too quickly and too soon to cup. Like out of all the drivers, I think Ginty is the one driver who shouldn't have been moved up to D1. Like
Yeah.
he like
Um,
sorry, sorry, but it's like P2 if you're finishing outside of the top 5 in D2, and you've been told that and you getting called up to D1, that's just been
Mm-hmm.
thrown to deep end with no floaties and just be told swim.
Yeah, I will say I think he got moved up way too fast. Like,
Right.
Yep.
I mean, he had a good season, but to be like, I mean, like what Antolal said, like basically being catapulted into the deep end of an ocean, no floating device, no calls for help. It's in the middle of the night, no
Yep.
spotlights. Like, come on,
Was it? Hold on.
at some point you guys gotta draw a line.
Yep, you
Right.
really do. And here's the
Is it?
thing though, like for example, Rebel, same thing. He finished P10 and stayed in D2, knowing that he needs to develop. And you know what? He is. He has 50 points. If he does well in the in the next three races, he'll probably have tied or beaten his end of season total point score already. So there's many drivers in D1, in D2 who have not finished who has finished below the top five or in the top five and decided to stay down in D2 for one more season. And I respect those drivers because D1 is a different whole monster.
Yeah.
The cars are different to the cars are different to D1. And also remember, we have gone to break and turn cars now, ladies and gentlemen. So it's a new everything. Like we don't know what's gonna happen now. And sadly for Ginty, I'm be honest with you, I think he's been sent too early, and I don't know why
Yeah.
he's being hated for that.
Hmm.
It's like we're blaming a driver who, as a driver himself, if you've been told to go to Cup, you kind of get a sense of pride. And now sadly that pride's been broken down, but now he needs to recuperate himself. But yeah, totally. So
Hmm.
we have some announcements from your team, Hot Rod Racing, don't we?
Yep. Um, to be honest, I suggest for you to say it because I better not stumble on my words, but hey, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So for this race, for this weekend, both D1 cars and D2 they'll be running a tribute spot like a show bulk of livery to which driver again was it again?
Davey Allison.
Yep. So they'll be running a Davidson's and tribute race for both D1 D2 schemes. However, except for 94, who has a half and half sponsor of Menards, with a
Oh,
half Menards and
um,
half
that meant
Outline.
to that meant to be Cesari's car. There was an issue on Blender. It wasn't for some reason it wasn't able to load like Cesari's car, so I'm gonna have to
Mm,
make like a very own render on that. It was too late. It was like too late to fix it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I
it
will
looks
say
good.
that is those schemes are, mind you, those schemes are uh, amazing. By the way, um,
Thanks.
um, I would say I do wish for those schemes to get into victory lane. Obviously, there is a terrorizer on the loose. His name is Pancake.
Right.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
there's like a literal terrorizer on the loose. His name is Pancake. But do wish for those cars to make it into victory lane. Those cars look very nice. Um, on the
JT
topic of let's see.
JT28 Designs is the person who made them, so all credits go to him.
Okay, you didn't just have to plug your scheme maker in the middle of
I
ready
mean,
up. You didn't have
sorry.
to like.
I'm a
Okay.
he he asked he wanted me to do it, so
He begged.
he can stop bugging me about it.
Good old ski makers trying to get their shout outs whenever they want to, don't they? Oh lordy lord.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, honestly, I would say that I'm now actually impressed. What will Ginty do? Also, one driver who we talk about is Crown. Crown this season he hasn't been this competitive compared to last season where he was actually competitive in D1, which I'm actually impressed by that. I'm quite shocked. Since D1 last season, Crown was battling for the championship at one stage and then sadly fell behind. So we have a cup driver sadly gone to D2 due to schedule reasons. So and he's not doing quite well, but he has had drivers trying to keep that Kimoshi car going for the championship standings, and sadly that ain't happening, which is actually quite interesting to hear from Crown.
One thing I would like to say, what are some drivers you think we holy English, what are some drivers you think the public should look out for in today's race? I mean, there's the
Oh
obvious. We have the obvious. Pancake.
yeah,
That requires no explanation.
yeah. Pancake is one of them. However, it's hard to say. It is hard to say since one thing to remember is we are going to a short track. This is the first short track with the new Bracket and cars.
Mhm.
So I do not know what's gonna happen. We do not know what's gonna expect. So at the moment it's all unclear. It's all foggy. It's all foggy. Like there's only Pancake we know we might do well, but we don't even know if he will even do well. It's just really unclear at the moment to see. Like we don't know. Like we could have like a driver from out of nowhere coming and winning the race. Like we
Like,
could
yeah,
have
we've seen that last season. We've seen that last season, an absurd amount of times actually.
yeah
Well, not absurd, but still like noticeably different.
well last season we had 11. We had like 11 or 14 winners in
I stand
D2.
corrected.
Like and for example, one driver who won was Toddy's driver. That 20 the wait. Oh god, I forgot what he's called now. But like he literally he was running for Tower with me and Tower, 2D1 drivers, and won it at the end. And he's just crazy. He's just crazy. Gray, thank Gray. Yeah. So Gray won a short track race from out of nowhere. It was a crazy race where me and Tower were dominating, and he just won it due to strategy reasons. And if let's say we have 14 brand new winners, who who's gonna win in this season? We have Pancake dominating, but at the same time we had two winners. We had Bandit and Toddy. Will this race be another Pancake win, or will it be a Toxic Night win with SMS? Or will it be a Trini win, or a Jaber win? We don't know. We have to wait. The other thing we can only learn by practice. It's just watching practice and see how the people are driving. That's all we can get from. It's just the practice.
Definitely think there's going to be some interesting, definitely going to be some interesting drivers. We'll see. Obviously, this is D2, but overall, definitely we're gonna see some ups. We're gonna see an upset, or we're gonna see the exact same driver win the exact same race. So, definitely more to come from Darlington. Um, definitely more to come from Darlington. I'll say. That's going to be a very interesting race, given, like Antalal said, it's going to be first short track of the season. Let's see how the drivers fare. I beg that there isn't a crash within the first 10 laps, but hey, it's
Right.
D2. We can work miracles. Um, other than that, I think that's all the stuff we have to cover for today. So, I'm Starry, that's Toddy, this is Antelope, and we'll see you in about 17 short minutes for the Darlington race. So,
Yep.
17. There's a practice. There's a practice that we need to do first. So
Yeah,
one
it's
hour,
gonna be
1 hour 17 minutes. You mean?
yeah. So hopefully I can qualify and get it in, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.